they invented somehow an AI computer that could watch someone 24 hours a day and follow them, your average person commits hundreds and hundreds of crimes a day. We just don't even know what they are. That's how many we literally exist in a society that has more laws than people.
Well, that's comforting. But I had never heard that before. I mean, your average citizen feels that they have no actual need to know these things anyway. But wow, I mean, if used in
not until you actually need them.
Yeah. Oh man, that's like a totally freaky thing you just said. A totally innocent. I'm just bringing my grandmother's trash to the dump. Could really turn into a really dark, nasty experience. Oh my God.
Yeah, and you can end up going to prison for it. And people do this all the time. They throw out trash for their elderly family members.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That's why, hypothetically, I can't give a law advice, but I'm just telling people what I would do. I always do not consent. I always say, officer, I don't consent to my person or my property. It's just very important, And also, here's the thing. The advent of the video camera is now so ubiquitous, and it's so much a part of our society. People's smartphones now are like part of their hand. They may as well be their hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I think anytime the police interact with the public, the person that's being pulled over or stopped or questioned by the cops should be filming. And everyone that happens to be witnessing the encounter should be filming. And I'll tell you why. A lot of people confront me on the internet when they stumble across one of my, hundreds and hundreds of police encounters, and they're like, why would you go around filming the police? What, are you just waiting for them to, mess up so you can make yourself internet famous? And I'm like, no, that's not really the point. The point is this, okay? The majority of police brutality videos you'll find online are when the cops are doing something wrong, when they start, fighting with the suspect, or if the suspect started the fight. A lot of the videos online, they have no context. And what I mean by that is you're surfing through YouTube and you type in, cops fighting people, or, police brutality videos, or cops, police shootings, and you'll get a very minimal part of the story. You'll get the action as it's already started.
Mm-hmm.
The police are already on top of the person, or someone's been shot, or the police are wrestling. That's because people wait until things go sideways, and then they pull their camera out and start filming. Well, when you do that, there's no context. The people on the anti-law enforcement side, or the pro-police accountability side of the argument, are going to go, oh, well, obviously that guy didn't do anything wrong, and the police are just beating him, see? Yeah. And then the people that are very pro-thin blue line, very pro-law enforcement perspective, they're going to go, but wait, the police report says that the suspect spit on the officer and pulled a knife out of his pocket, or whatever. It's going to say the man pulled a weapon.
Sure.
But if you film the entire encounter, like if it was part of the regular citizenry's consciousness, just to when there's police interacting with someone that they film, there would be complete stories online, the whole context, the police, everything, when everything was calm. So I film everything when I'm out on patrol. I'll film a traffic stop. I'll film a courtesy call. I'll call the police interacting with a homeless camp. I'll go out and film that. When I'll respond to the calls on the scanner. I'll film everything, and the reason why is to show both sides of it. You have to have context, and I'd have to say that 80% of the videos I shoot are cops, not being brutal. They're not hurting people. They're discharging their job in the best way that they know how. Philosophically, as an anarchist, I might make an argument that there's something wrong with the system, or the particular law they're enforcing might be immoral or unjust or, nonsensical. But at least 80% of what I film, the police aren't physically hurting anyone.
Mm-hmm. And
that other 10% is pretty bad stuff, But
it seems to me that having that camera out right from the beginning probably influences the encounter, so that some of the times that horror show never actually gets started.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. When you have an organized group in a town, it affects the police and the way that they behave. It's going to influence everyone's behavior, even the people that are being stopped by the police.
Mm-hmm.
It can mitigate violence, and that's why it's important for these citizens groups like mine to exist. There's a FTP Hillsborough, there's an FTP Minneapolis, there's an FTP Portland. If you found another FTP chapter, which I'm very excited that you will be, that will be the 4th chapter of what I'm doing.
Nice.
But there's a nationwide subculture of this kind of activity. If you Google First Amendment audit, or just search YouTube for First Amendment audit,
mm-hmm.
there's a derivation of the type of activist that I am, or the activist journalist hybrid that I am, of people that just do First Amendment audits. And I think these people are awesome. I can't wait to share this with your audience, but here's what they do. All a First Amendment auditor does is they'll go to the public sidewalk across the street, say, from a military base, or a police station, or a federal building, and they'll engage in normal First Amendment protected activity. They'll just film, and they'll be very polite. And if the police come up and they try to, manipulate ID out of them, or try to ID them, or try to tell them that it's illegal to film on a public sidewalk, then things get a little entertaining. Some of these people heckle. Some of these people, some of the First Amendment auditors practice what I call, and the guy that came up with it, Bunny Boots Inc. If you Google Bunny Boots Incorporated, you'll find his YouTube channel. He's a former Air Force veteran, and he does silent treatments of military bases from the public sidewalk. So he'll go sit on the public sidewalk with a tripod and a camera, and the security will come by, and he won't speak to them. They'll call back up, and he'll just smile, and look at them, and they'll get sometimes 3 or 4 officers. And the officers that have a sense of humor, the ones that are, good people, you can see them right off the bat during a silent treatment. I think it's hilarious. The good people that happen to work in law enforcement that are getting the silent treatment, you can see them smile. Sometimes they'll giggle, But the authoritarian, the guy that takes his job way too seriously, or the person that's in it because they're a atypical sociopath, like I discussed earlier, they get angry. I mean, it starts off with just a little bit of annoyance, but the longer the First Amendment auditor gives them the silent treatment, the more and more they get worked up, because that type of personality is used to the kind of intimidation, and they're used to the kind of nervousness that most people express when they're dealing with law enforcement. Now, if you're calm and you're not intimidated, a lot of these people just go off. They'll go from 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds, just because you're not respecting, just like Cartman and South Park, you're not respecting their authority.